So today I want to look at a new purchase of mine, the Tuya Smart Weather Station, and the model number that I've purchased is FJ3395TY, and online it just says Tuya Weather Station, but I've subsequently seen that it has various other names online. So rather than read them out, I'm going to put a list of the ones that I've found in the descriptions. So I purchased this item here in Thailand for 2,500 Thai baht delivered, which is approximately $80 US. So just to have a look at what you get an external item which has all the sensors in. And then you get an internal base station. So we're going to look at the external thing to start with, and it has a number of remote sensors. If we turn the box around, you can see that it's will measure wind, rain, air pressure. It gives you a weather forecast based on the barometric pressure. Indoor and outdoor temperature. Obviously the indoor display has its own humidity and temperature sensors, and obviously the outdoor unit has as well. So humidity, and also you've got alarms and things like that. So just to go through some of the features of this, the first item to look at is a wind vane or a weather vane that rotates you to show the direction that the wind is blowing in, and for that to work you actually have to set this up facing due south, and there's actually a solar panel on here, so obviously if it's facing south, then it's going to, if you're in the northern hemisphere, it's going to pick up a lot more sun if it's facing south. So that's one thing you have to bear in mind when you're actually installing this thing. So then it has some rotating cups which move with the wind, and that records the wind speed. It's got a little bubble level thing in it here so that you can get it perfectly horizontal. The thing that's probably the most use for me is the self-emptying rain gauge. So I've been recording rain levels at my home for the last 8 years because I have a rainwater harvesting system, and we're completely off-grid for water, so it's important for me to know what rain we've got, and it's useful to see year by year, month by month, how that changes. But it's a real pain with those traditional rain gauges where you literally, it's just a cup with markings on it, and you'd have to go and empty it. So it was never particularly accurate. Well, this records the amount of water that passes through it, so it's a sort of a self-emptying. There is a bit of assembly that's required. Obviously the wind cups and the weather vane, they're quite delicate items, so they were packed separately. The external item has got 3 batteries in that you have to fit. So you've got batteries and you've got solar power. And the base station, that's got 2 batteries, and it also has a USB powered cable that goes in. So you've basically got a backup power in both cases. So there are a number of fixing options. So I see online that a number of people have actually fixed this to a fence post, so you can do that. I wanted to get some height, so I've got a 3-meter high pole, which I've just replaced all of this with the pole of the right size, and so that works for me, because obviously you don't want anything around it that will interfere with shading or interfere with the wind speed or the rain, etc. So let's look at the internal display here, and at the top you can see we have internal temperature and humidity, and on the left hand side you have external temperature and humidity, and then down here you have the wind speed, and it will also give you the direction. There's no wind blowing at the moment, so we don't have a figure for that. There's a little graphic here telling you what the weather is like and going to be like, and that graphic does change. So if it's rainy or it's likely to rain, you'll get a different sort of graphic here. You also get a feels like temperature, which reflects the humidity, wind chill factor, that sort of thing. And you've got the barometric pressure, which is shown. You can change whichever units you like. I've got it set up as hectopascals and millibars. And there's also the air quality. So there's air quality that's measured as well, TVOC, which stands for the total volatile organic compounds. And then we come down to the amount of rain. We've not had rain for several months, so there's no rain recorded here. Then we've got the light, and that's in watts per meter squared, which is quite useful if you have solar, getting that sort of information, seeing how that changes throughout the year. Then there's the UV. Down here we have the date and the time. And one of the nice things is when you connect this to the app, all this is picked up automatically, so you haven't got to set the thing. So as I said at the beginning, this is a Tuya compatible weather station, so we can connect it to the Tuya app, and I have picked up quite a few Tuya devices over the years. Here's the weather station. So basically we've got the indoor device, which is records all the data, but if you've got access to Wi-Fi, then you've got access to all the data on the app, which is nice to see. And you can also get some additional sensors that will work with the device to give you information about other rooms, but obviously I didn't buy those, I have all that already. And you can change the units if you're not comfortable with them. There's various changes that you can make there. And you can, this is the thing that really interests me, is that you have access to all the graphs, etc. So you know, if you're looking weekly and monthly, you can see how this changes. Apparently it stores 2 years worth of data, so that's very nice. The fact that it connects to Tuya means that it also connects to Home Assistant, and Home Assistant is my main system for collecting together all my smart devices. So this is the weather station on Home Assistant, and those of you familiar with Home Assistant will know that you can anything that's recording data you can do graphs for, etc., and you can drill down to get extra information. So this makes it a very compatible device. if you're wanting to access this data in different ways, and if you want to store it and use it and display it. So it works with the app, it works on the base station display, and it also works in something like Home Assistant.